So I'm not using a primer product to prep the eyes today. I've applied some foundation across my lid and now I'm setting it with some of my face powder, and that works just as well. The first shadow I'm taking is called Peach Smoothie from Makeup Geek, and this is going to be the first of my transition shades. This is a really light peachy beige toned colour and it's matte, and I find it works well as a transition colour for any makeup look. I'm then going in with Chickadee, which is a warm yellowy orange colour, and I'm applying this a little deeper in the crease and then blending it up into Peach Smoothie. Today I'm basically lumping all of my warm toned Makeup Geek shadows together to create this look, and I think it actually turns out really nice. I'm after picking up some of my face powder again and I'm just stamping it down along the outer corner of the eye, bringing it up to the tail of the brow just to clean up that edge. To add some depth, I'm going in with Cocoa Bear, which is a warm toned brown, and I'm starting by blending this on the outer third of the eye, and then I'm sweeping it across into the crease and up into those shades that I applied previously. I'm dipping back into the shadow now and I'm reapplying it in the same way as before, just to build up that intensity. So this is all a layering process. Layering shadows will help you achieve that nice gradient effect and that perfect blend that everyone wants. So I'm adding Americano now, which is a deeper warm toned brown. I'm applying this on the outer third of the eye and then once again I'm blending it across the crease. Next I'm taking the LA Splash Splash Proof Sealer and I'm patting this halfway across the lid. I'm applying this where I'll be adding pigment in a second, and it'll just help it to adhere to the eye a little better and it'll really make the pigment sparkle. The pigment I'm using is Vegas Lights by Makeup Geek. It's a gorgeous coppery shade, perfect for the summer, and I'm just patting it down on top of that base and I'm holding a cotton pad there just to catch any fallout that may occur. Then I'm taking my fluffy blending brush with some of that Americano on it and I'm lightly blending around the edges. To add some further depth, I'm taking Corrupt on a pencil brush and I'm beginning by patting this down on the outer third of the eye, right in at that lash line. Once the bulk of the product is off my brush, I'm sweeping it into the crease and across to meet that inner corner of the eye, and I'm also flicking it outwards on the outer corner of the eye just to help give that nice elongated feel to the eyes. I like to do the majority of my blending with the pencil brush, but if you find it easier you can go back in and blend the edges with a fluffy blending brush after you apply the shadow with the pencil brush. Moving on to the lower lash line now, I'm beginning by sweeping Chickadee down along the lower lash line and I'm adding this a couple of times just to build up that intensity. Once I've got Chickadee in place, then I'm adding some of that Cocoa Bear shade next using a pencil brush, and I'm only blending it as far as the tear duct and stopping there because I'll be adding a highlight there in a minute. Still building up that intensity, I'm adding Americano next before finally pressing some of that Corrupt shadow into the lower lash line. To add a little sparkle, I'm using this shadow by Inglot and I'm pressing it around the tear duct to give a bit of a glow. And then I kind of wanted to give sort of a peachy coppery hue, so I'm adding a little of this shadow on top. Next I'm lining my waterline with one of my favourite eyeliners. It doesn't budge and it's nice and black. Again, I'm stopping this right as we get to the beginning of the tear duct. I'm not bringing it into that inner corner. And then to finish off the look, I'm adding some of the So Sue by SJ lashes in the style Holly. And then I'm using the Wet n Wild Lash Renegade mascara to blend my own lashes in with the false ones. And then that's it. So I hope you enjoyed the tutorial and found it helpful. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.